So basically, to get started, there's thousands of universities and colleges in the United States. And when I say liberal arts college, I think it's always helpful to sort of set the stage on the various options. First, there are the comprehensive universities. They're the big state schools, fabulous options. They work on a magnitude and a scale of learning, and they have hundreds of programs. And then there's the research universities, what you might consider and know as those famous name brand institutions that are renowned the world over. And some of the more common names obviously are going to be like Stanford to Harvard on the East Coast, and many other well-known schools. They offer a very broad learning experience at the graduate level as well as at the undergraduate level. And in that mix then falls the liberal arts colleges. What many students might not know is that 15% of all college-age students in the US, 15%, 1-5, attend what are called liberal arts colleges. And I'm going to elaborate on more what that option really speaks to and provides for students interested in that kind of a valuable learning experience. And the last type of schools are what we call two-year community colleges. They're more for students who are looking for two-year degree programs, possibly considering transferring. So they all provide a really nice array of opportunities to learn. So in this context, I want to share with you what a liberal arts college is. Keeping in mind that every college, every university has its own personality. So when I speak to you about the range of opportunities in the liberal arts context, it really doesn't mean they're all the same. Like every individual, every school has a different character and a personality to it. But in the range of opportunities in the liberal arts category, they're more sharing some common denominators and features that define their experience. So in the context of liberal arts college, it's important to know that first and foremost, we're strictly undergraduate. That means we're 4 years and that's it. If you want to continue and get a more advanced degree, you have to go out and move on and apply to graduate school programs. We're exclusively for the students that want to have a powerful experience in a very intimate environment. So we're much smaller in magnitude and scale. At Lafayette College, we only have 2,700 students. They come from all over the United States, 47 of the 50 states, and almost twice as many countries internationally from A to Z countries. We have students from Australia on the A end of the spectrum, Argentina on the A, and Afghanistan, and students from Zambia and Zimbabwe on the Z end. So we're very much valuing that kind of intimacy and representation of students from many different backgrounds, geographic, gender, political, and geographic, to empower the kind of learning that goes on. So I don't want to imply that liberal arts colleges are unique in being those kind of learning environments, but they really are empowering in the context of the way in which we're being able to provide that kind of learning in an intimate setting. So I'm going to turn to you, Tanushree, just to speak just in general terms about when I talk about small classes and I talk about the range of students that you're going to be coming in contact with in a place like Lafayette and a liberal arts college, there's a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. You're going to get to know all your professors. But when I speak about that, you know, that it turns into so many opportunities for research, for really inviting participatory learning, challenging your peers in the classroom to engage in a way that isn't just a professor lecturing to you, but inviting a very valuable discourse in what we value as a part of the learning experience. So when I talk about a liberal arts college, keep in mind at Lafayette College or whatever smaller college, 100% of our faculty, and this is not uncommon, 100% of our professors have their advanced degrees, and every one of our professors is teaching every one of our students. There isn't any teaching assistants teaching any classes. And this isn't to be critical of the large comprehensive universities or the research universities, but their focus isn't exclusively on undergraduate students. Their focus is on research for graduate level programs, which is fantastic, and other related learning opportunities, but exclusively at liberal arts colleges, that's our primary focus, our exclusive focus. So if you're a student that values intimacy and access to learning with scholars, the liberal arts college is a really unique environment to support that kind of scholarship and advanced learning in ways that even Tanushree here was talking about, really tailoring a learning experience exclusive to your interests in addition to your major academic area of interest. So that's really important to keep in mind. We have the flexibility to adapt to not just providing you with a world-class education, but to also provide a platform to invite you to define what your interests are and have faculty mentor you. That's what we do really well. And many of our professors come from those top name brand world-class universities. And I'm not saying this, I'm just going to repeat what they've told me time and again, that we're better than those world-class schools that you all have heard of and maybe not have heard of us smaller schools. But what does better mean? Better in this context means exactly that, where we're at many of these schools that are the famous schools, they attract really smart, high-achieving students. So the professors at those universities often have the approach and attitude of saying, you're really smart. Teach yourself in large lecture halls. And in our instance, our approach is saying, you're really smart. But how about if you collaborate with a professor who's going to support your learning in powerful ways that are going to allow you to really advance in your own ways and interests? So that's kind of a difference in the culture of what we're providing and the opportunities for learning. One isn't better than the other, but they're suited in different ways to really accommodate students in powerful ways. Okay. So another feature of a liberal arts college is everybody lives on our campus. So I think that's important because we're not just a learning environment, but we're a communal experience. At a place like Lafayette and most liberal arts colleges, we guarantee for your whole 4-year experience, we're going to guarantee that you have a home for 4 years. So every student is going to be able to live on campus, and that's a part of the whole experience. Learning isn't just in the classroom, but it's as a part of the whole 4-year experience and the activities that surround that, whether it's guest speakers coming to campus or your participation in clubs and activities or a variety of organizations. It's a comprehensive experience that empowers you beyond just living and learning on a campus, but doing what's important to you and really developing your career interests or personal ambitions beyond the traditional boundaries of learning. Lafayette, but in general in liberal arts colleges, this isn't exclusive to that experience, but it really speaks to the breadth of the opportunities for that kind of learning. Keep in mind, we have, in the case of Lafayette College, over 200 clubs and organizations and activities for students to participate in. So in addition to your learning in the classroom, we're also very vigilant and deliberate in our drive to develop you as a person, as a leader, and balancing that against what you're learning in the classroom to really help in ways that are going to be strategic to your own development. That isn't exclusive to liberal arts colleges, but it comes alive in a way because of the personal attention and opportunities and the support and advising that really as a culture makes it come to life in a way that just is more organic, so to speak. Okay. So some other things I mentioned about our professors. Every one of them are scholars. Every one of them is teaching in a classroom. Why is that important? Because at many colleges, they're going to have teaching assistants because many of the professors are too busy to work with students, or they're not as interested and have that exemption so that they're not having to regularly give classroom presentations. That's okay. But our attitude in the liberal arts group of colleges is you're here to learn, and our primary purpose and function is to be engaging with you, as we say, elbow teaching. That means you're rubbing elbows with each other. You're not just paying lip service, but you're committed to the endeavor of that kind of relationship. And that takes on so many forms, formal and informal. In most liberal arts colleges, the professors live within the community, and their accessibility extends beyond the classroom hours and their office hours. So keep that all in mind. That, again, I think it's so important to have to say, isn't to imply that we're better, but we're providing that kind of level of intimacy and accessibility and personal touch that if that speaks to you, we're ideally suited to really accommodate your learning in ways that are going to transcend how you can, even sitting here today, imagine the potential for what learning can look like for you. Most of our students, for example, in liberal arts colleges, although they're beautiful campuses, and although they have phenomenally talented professors, we're saying, get out of here, go study abroad, go immerse yourself and extend yourself beyond the bubble of the campus life and experience. And 60% of our students are going overseas to study. Here's a case in point. We believe that we can provide a world-class education by bringing the world to our classrooms. We have students, as I told you, from almost every state of the United States and twice as many countries internationally. But we also believe that not just bringing those students to our campus, but having you immerse yourself in those different experiences is going to further strengthen and empower your learning. And I know that you're having a fantastic time here in Korea in ways that we just can't quite emulate in a classroom. So keep all that kind of aspect in mind. Some other things just to keep in mind that are also very unique about a liberal arts college is when you're applying for admission to us, you're not applying for admission into a specific program. And in most universities, when you're applying for admission, you have to know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And that's fine if you do. But our attitude and our approach is you don't need to know what you want to do for the rest of your life, because the world is constantly evolving and transforming in ways that we can't know what it's going to look like. Let's look at in just the last couple of years with the pandemic. We always thought learning was in a very traditional way, sitting in a classroom, having someone lecture to you. But guess what? The world pivoted. We learned that there's many ways to learn, and we asked ourselves all sorts of questions. What is learning? And the discussions are continuing to this day. And with AI technologies, for one example, that's challenging the traditional focus of bricks and mortars learning in ways that we're not even sure what is going on. So we're constantly in the liberal arts college intimate environment engaging with these notions and these ideas, challenging convention, and really inviting you to be a participant in preparing for the unknown. So most of our students coming to liberal arts colleges, our largest major is, I like to say, I don't know, which is undecided in another way to say it. And to many practical-minded people who are very focused on the end goal of making a good, successful career with lots of money afterwards, think, well, that sounds really nice, but does it really work? And I can only tell you it absolutely does. If you looked at the percentage of leaders in industry, the percentage of college presidents in the United States, the large majority of them attended smaller liberal arts colleges. That's not to say that we create these leaders, but we attract those kinds of students with that vision and commitment to learning in a way that's going to support that kind of opportunity and thrive in our intimate environments. So we're preparing you in liberal arts contexts. We're not preparing you for your first job. We're preparing you for a lifelong of learning and success, and to feel comfortable in complexity, to really engage with many different people from many different backgrounds and disciplines who don't look like you, but not only think like you, but to engage in ways that are going to be meaningful. And that's really what we're trying to do in another way. We're preparing you for the unknown. And the best way to do that is to prepare you to learn how to learn, be a perpetual student, know how to ask the right kinds of questions, seek answers in a collaborative environment to work towards common goals. That, in the end, is a recipe for lifelong success, because whatever you think today may not be true tomorrow. I can't tell you how many times when I was in a classroom back in the day, as we say, where what I was learning isn't true anymore today. That doesn't mean we were wrong. It just means that we only knew what we knew then. And with advances and challenging conventions, we move forward. And that's called progression and advancing. So I don't know where you go with that, but I think it's really important to understand that we're incubators for that kind of innovation and learning. And that's possible because of the camaraderie and the collaboration that we provide that is part and parcel to the whole educational enterprise and experience at liberal arts colleges that we pride ourselves on. So much of what a liberal arts college experience isn't just learning for the sake of learning, but it's challenging your own notions and benefiting from the various and different perspectives that will enrich the complexity of whatever understandings you have. If you get a lot of smart people in a room and everyone agrees, that doesn't mean you're all smart. It means that you all are smart in a similar way that allows you to agree and feel good about yourself. But our philosophy and our approach is to learn to empower yourself with understanding how to appreciate difference and interrogate ideas to come out at a better understanding that's more rich sometimes. We all can agree on one thing, if nothing else. That's an invaluable skill set that is in much demand, that's not as available as we might need these days, with so many differences and challenges and less listening and so on. So that